Good morning, folks. This is Aaron DeBruin, Vinyl Freak 89, here once again to give you an update on the situation for March 25th, 2008, whatever year we're in. Sorry, this video is going to probably be a little less coherent than the others, as 28 minutes ago my alarm went off and I just started looking at data and got up. What I saw was very encouraging. I've seen the 0Z GFS and Euro runs, as you will too. UK, Met, Canadian, blah blah blah. I've ingested it all. Um, but what we're basically seeing is that the 12Z run was kind of a fluke yesterday, which I had expected. And things are continuing the trend that they had been since 0Z last night. Now, that's for the earlier things. The second storm, I'm not, when I say the second storm, I mean the run that's around the end of the month or the beginning of April. I'm not so sure that that was a fluke, the way that the N negative NAO is being evolved, and I'm going to go ahead and explain that as well. Excuse me. I tell you, waking up with the congestion and allergies is just ridiculously annoying. Anyway, on to weather. Here we can see this current system here getting ready to eject out onto the northeast, going to bring some nice rains and severe weather in through mid-Atlantic, northeast, southeast today. So actually could be some low-top storms. Severe weather all the way up into southern New England. We'll have to watch that carefully throughout the day. But I'm looking at medium and long range. I'm not really looking at what's going on in the short range, so I don't care. Not to say that. Notice that the storm is ejecting slower than what the GFS had indicated, and it's also coming a bit further east. Looks like the eventual 500 low track is going to do something like that, and the eventual surface low track is going to probably do something like, surface low isn't here. It's probably going to take a track something like this. And so once again, far interior sections of northern New York, northern Maine could get in on a little bit of snow. Interestingly enough, with this storm, I say I don't discuss current weather, but whatever. There's a little bit of sleet reported in North Jersey yesterday as this thing started going. Sleet mixed with rain with temperatures in the upper 30s just goes to show you that even when the upper levels are cold enough this time of year, it's really hard to get the surface cold enough to support an all-frozen solution. But I digress. You probably want to hear about the big storm, the Clipper, and so on and so forth. I'm getting less and less concerned about the Clipper. If you want to be perfectly honest, here it is at 84 hours, or sorry, 96 hours rather, coming through the northeast. It's not going to pack much punch. I'm thinking at this point, Philly and south, it's a rain event. New York City north, well, New York City, it's a snow event. I don't think Boston's really going to get in on much of the action with that. But it's really just a piece of energy that rotates around the backside of this trough and sets up for the whole situation. So here we can see once again our west-best, screw it. You know what, I forgot to go over that in the other map. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So here we can see our east-based negative NAO, which is trending toward a more west-based look as we go on through time. Displace 50-50 sitting in here, which is sort of pulling this thing back, and when this storm comes along, it's going to aid to help pull it back even further. So, back to 96 hours rather. You can see it's sitting up here. It's being pulled back mostly. This is much further west than we've seen it all together. Here's the nice low sitting in Canada. Now, the ultimate solution would be, and this is not what's going to happen, for this thing to move east before it moves north. It's moving north, folks. It's not the perfect 50-50 low setup. It's not the perfect setup with the block, but I will admit it is one of the best we've had all winter. And here's the surface map valid at 96 hours, which is Saturday night, Sunday morning at 0Z, whatever. And you can see the zero line sitting right over DC Philly. Very light precip on the edge of the Clipper. Again, I don't think that's really much of a big deal. And And I was actually talking to Tony Pan yesterday, and he said something interesting, and I think it makes sense. The stronger the Clipper is, the weaker the second storm's going to be. The stronger the second storm is, the weaker the one in late March, early April is. So, the stronger of the storms will detract from the others, which makes sense because there's a finite amount of energy available in the atmosphere. And with the placement of the short waves, when one amplifies, it doesn't give time. When one shortwave amplifies, it doesn't allow for another to dig in right behind it. You never see the system configured well like this. Imagine this were like this and this were like this. You just don't see that. There's too short of a distance to separate with ridging where the atmosphere equalizes itself out in between. So this, I think, is partially right. Notice that it destroys the block to the east. By the way, this is the GFS valid at Monday night at 0Z. Or Tuesday, whatever, 25th. It's valid March 25th at 0Z. I'm going to stop trying to convert to American time. It's too confusing. This in here, I think, is wrong. I think that this is going to be a little bit slower, and I think this is going to probably be a little bit more phased in on the back side, but we'll see. The Euro doesn't show this. It shows it way back here. Or actually, you know what? We'll wait to talk about the Euro till we get to the Euro. I don't honestly remember what it shows, where it showed this piece of it. I don't remember if it was out front or phased in with the storm. It doesn't matter. It's not where the GFS shows it. That's the important part. Nice 50-50 low in here. One of the best setups we've seen all winter, once again, and I know I'm harping on that. And you can see here's some weak ridging over the top. Now, storm off the coast. Why? Because this thing's coming in and kicking it out. But it is definitely a better trend in the GFS. Note, by the way, folks, that this is Miller B. It's not a Miller A. There's southern branch influence, but the main disturbance is coming from the north and digging down into the system. So here's what the surface map looks like. Yeah, again, this thing here destroys the stupid the stupid cold air. We have some weirdly configured high sitting like this. Which is not really a classic high pressure system. In fact, you start to draw in some south winds on the back side of that. But so this thing, I don't like this stupid thing that's sitting there in central Canada or southern Canada on the GFS. I don't think it's right, and it completely destroys the setup. So not only do you get a suppressed storm, but if we were to get a big storm, it wouldn't be. There would not be enough cold air available for it to be all snow, especially for the big cities. Alright, so we're going to continue to go out through time here. And this is interesting, because the ridge that was sitting back